of what I do with it. Typically what you want to do is you want to start by either rounding, which is what I did here with this tip, rounding the tip, or kind of doing a triangle. Again, if you want to get into it, you can buy punches and everything to do that stuff. I just did it with a pair of heavy scissors. Again, we're talking about saving money, and if you have to spend, you know, $200 to get the $50 worth of a gun belt, then you haven't really saved money. So, pair of scissors, you can round that off, and, you know, make that tip whatever you want. And then what you would typically do is put this on, punch your holes, or drill them out as I happen to do. And after you've done that, then you'd go about with dyeing it. So the dyeing process is what I wanted to show you today. What I've done here is I use two different dyes. Again, I got these from Hobby Lobby. This is the Acorn Brown, and the Acorn Brown's made by EcoFlow, and they're a company that makes. This is $5.99 for that dye, as you can see. This bottle, I think I'm probably never going to get through. I mean, there's that much in there. It's a finish and a dye all in one, so you don't have to go through and seal it or something like that to keep the dye from wearing off. It's all in one. And what I did is I wanted to do a brown belt, so I bought this Acorn Brown and found it was actually a little light for me. And it almost had like an orangish, definitely acorn color. So what I did, since I wanted to make a black belt too, was I got black also, and just kind of worked some black into it, and it kind of gave it, I thought, almost a weathered rustic look. I don't know, I mean, maybe like a fossil kind of belt, potentially. Some of you guys are probably laughing that I have a real one. You're like, yeah, it doesn't look anything like it. But I spent $11 on mine. How much did you spend on yours? So that's that. We'll move this out of the way, and then I'll actually show you kind of the process and how easy it is to dye this, because I want you to see that this is not something you need to know how to do well. It's not something that's difficult. In fact, it's pretty easy. So I'll go ahead and stop the clip, and I'll start to dye, and then once it's finished, I'll show you the finished product. All right, I went ahead and donned some gloves, which is a good idea, seeing that this is leather dye and sticks to your skin pretty well. So again, here is the all-in-one Midnight Black, what they called this, and I actually haven't seen how dark this goes. I've only seen it on the brown belt. That I put it on top, but they recommend sheepskin, or they make little brushes. Again, old sock. That's what I'm using. So let's go ahead and look and see. We'll start here at this end. The one side you can easily tell. This side you can feel has a little more rough texture. This side has a more smooth finish texture. So you can definitely tell which side's the front. The black here seems to be even a little pasty or gel-like. Maybe some of you people who do art things it's almost like a thick paint, whatever you would call that. The brown I found to be a little thinner, not liquidy, but just a little thinner. But basically what I do is I start here. You can see I use that other belt, and it's just barely out of the cap level, maybe down to here, that I use to do that other belt. So basically what you do is you pour it on, and you want to be somewhat liberal with it, but you don't want to slap it on so hard that it actually doesn't, it actually goes on too thick, because the problem is it will actually kind of stain some sections darker than other sections. But basically what you want to do is you want to work it in. So there you can see, starting to work it in, and it'll take, you know, this black coat may take more than just a single coat. Again, we're talking about a product that's actually pretty cheap, and so doing a couple coats, you know, isn't something that's going to be a problem. So I'll go ahead and stop the camera now, and then I'll bring the clips together when I'm done. All right, here. Well, this is the finished product. Here's the belt. You can see drilled the holes. Again, I use a drill bit. Drill the holes, just kind of match it up to whatever seems to fit good for this. Cut off the end. Again, you know, is it perfectly symmetrical? Probably not. I could probably spend a little more time on it, but you know, I think it'd be fine. One thing I did notice, here's the bottle that I used. It's EcoFlow, all-in-one, Midnight Black, and the black is definitely black. However, it took a lot of this. On the brown belt, which is this one here, on the brown belt, which is this one here, I put the layer of brown on, and I mean, it covered with maybe 2 capfuls worth of this. 2 capfuls. I used about half of this to do the black. In fact, when I put it on, it was gray at first, and then I almost started pouring it on like they tell you not to do, to get it to be dark enough. But it is black now. The only thing that is different from this, other than the quality and the longevity that the belt's going to have, between that and my old bonded leather one, which you saw, this is the one that fell apart again. On here you can see how wonderful it is. The only difference between these two, in terms of the finish, well, one, there's not the stitching. So if you want a belt with stitching on it, you know, obviously, unless you have some kind of sewing machine that's going to stitch through this heavy leather, it's not going to work. But this almost has, I think, kind of a modern feel to it too, with the one without the stitching. The only really difference is the shininess, the sheen, and I don't know if you can necessarily see it on the camera. This one's got a slight sheen to it. This one's a little more matte. But overall, very pleased. I've now, for the price of 2 belts, which was, well, again, if you think 2 belts and 2 clasps is going to cost $11.72. $11.72 times 2. Let's just kind of round it off evenly to $24. Plus, I bought these two dies. Each one's about $5. So let's maybe round the whole thing out. Let's say $35, $36 maybe, for 2 belts that will last me a good long time. These 2 belts, I anticipate, are going to last surely longer than this one ever would. The bonded leather one that's broken. And you know, I think these 2 belts are going to last me well. And I would challenge you to find 2 belts for $35 that have this level of endurance or a level of longevity in their use. Have this kind of enjoyment, I would even say, in doing the project, and I think you'd be hard pressed to find it. So hope this helps. I'd encourage you to do it. Again, I got the stuff at Hobby Lobby, everything you need in their leather crafting section. The leather is made by Leathercraft, or Leather Crafts, Real Leather Crafts. The die is made by EcoFlow, and the clasp is made by Real Leather Crafts. So I hope you enjoyed the video, and take care. Bye.